Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning, everyone. Just do a quick sound check if anybody's on yet. Raul, Daniel, good morning. Hey, Tej. Some more Goose Games this morning. Hope you guys are ready. Thank you. Loud and clear. Hope you guys have all been doing well with this crazy market. It's not been easy. Not been sneezy. All right. Got a few more minutes. If you guys are on, don't be shy to, if you're on Twitter, don't be shy to retweet the True Trader tweets that are saying that we're going live at 8:30 or so. If you have a Twitter account. Retweet or whatever you call it. Tell I'm a real Twitter guy, right? Twitter. All right, we'll get going in a minute. Good to have everyone. Ready for a great day ahead. All right. Morning, Sal. I feel like there should be a drum roll or Ricky's air horns. They might not like it yet, Raul. That might be an early one. All right, let's get going. And good morning, everyone. It's Jason here, one of the pro traders over at TrueTrader.net. Yes, I'm a former market maker, been around the business since 93 or so. I put these out there every week, every Thursday morning. We're now playing the Goose Games, which gives you guys an opportunity to see what's in my head, looking at opportunities and what I'm looking at and different levels on a daily. So hopefully that's been helping you out. Gives you some perspectives on the market and other ideas that I have going on that maybe I could share with you. If you guys are liking everything, do hit that like button. Make sure you guys leave comments. Not seeing a lot of comments, so I'm assuming everything's good and everybody's happy with everything. But don't be shy to leave any comments. If you guys want something else that I'm not including, don't be shy to leave it. Make sure you guys set your alerts as well. Ricky puts a lot of work into his Sunday prep. It's been amazing. He's every week he's hitting on a couple of those names. He also he spends a lot of time covering other things as well. So if you guys aren't tuning into that, especially if you're newer traders, you're really doing a disservice to yourself. So make sure you're tuning in every Sunday for Ricky's Sunday prep. That's awesome. Make sure you have your alerts on to notify you when that's happening. So I got a couple things I want to talk about this morning. Let me switch over to disclaimer first. Let's get the fun stuff out of the way here. So True Trader nor its representatives are not registered as a security broker dealer or investment advisor with the SEC or any state regulatory authorities. We are not licensed nor qualified to provide investment advice. Guys, I'm not a licensed broker anymore. I'm not here to provide you investment advice. This is 100% for entertainment purposes only. Don't follow me. Don't copy me. Have your own plans always, all right? So before I get into the market and a couple, thoughts on the market, guys, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about something that, I mentioned last week about sitting on your hands. And, this week's topic that I just want to talk about has a little bit to do about slowing things down. And especially for the newer traders, even if you've been doing this a year, I still, think that's pretty new. One of the things that I try to teach or really push into people is a couple things, is slowing down a trade. I know a lot of people that, they have their DAS up or whatever system they're using. They got it on a 1 minute, chart, and they're sitting there and they're watching every single candle, tick by tick. Hang on a sec. Sorry, let me go to the screen share here for a sec. So, but they're going through every candle, tick by tick, and it's you're going to burn yourself out. So there's a couple ways to slow yourself down. First of all, what I do is when I put on a position, immediately, guys, what I do is I move over to a 5-minute chart. It slows it down. Some people go as far as, a 20-minute chart. But it slows things down, and it really does. And I think one of the tricks in this business is so fast paced, and you get these flushes off stop orders and stop levels that sometimes you got to really slow things down and go to a 5-minute or 20-minute chart. And I just want to kind of make sure that you guys are doing that. It really will help you. Try it out. If you guys haven't tried it out yet, and you guys are always on a 1 minute, you got a 1 minute chart, and you're looking at the 1 minute 20 or 1 minute 50, and you're trying to figure out a way that this thing's going to work, try flipping it around, go to a 5-minute or a 20-minute chart, see if that helps you out slowing down the whole process. The other thing is that I want to bring up about the slowing down is, I get really surprised when I talk to some traders and they jumped into trading, whether when the COVID year started, they're kind of brand new at it, and they're doing okay. They have a couple good months and they fall on their face, and a couple good months they fall on their face. And I'm sure if I asked how many people have done that, a lot of hands would probably raise up. And then I talked to him. I said, have you ever swing trade? And everybody's like, no, I really don't do that. I'm an intraday trader. And it kind of surprises me. And I just encourage you guys to, if you guys are struggling, you talk about slowing it down, try swing trading. There's a lot of people I know in the Goose Room that's been watching some of the swing trades that we've been putting on. It's been pretty awesome. It's a different style of trading. It really slows you down. You're looking at the daily. You're looking at weekly charts. There's a lot of ways to do it, but it will slow you down, and it'll kind of get in your head, how to read a daily chart better. And I think reading a daily chart is so instrumental in being successful in this business. And a good way to start with that is slowing yourself down. And it's okay. I mean, yesterday I lost power in my house, and I had 3 swing trades that hit for me. So I didn't have one intraday trade the power didn't come up till like 11 o'clock Eastern time. Couldn't do any, trades intraday, but 3 swing trades hit. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that just swing trade, and that's how they make their living. So if you've never tried swing trading, give it a shot. We definitely talk a lot about it, in the Goose Room, and I know that the True Trader talks about it as well. I know we have a system that's set up that we actually post our swing trades on a text message. So if you guys are not part of True Trader, you can see that as well. But there's a lot of things that we put in there. And one of the things, and I know Ricky posts swing trades. I think he did it on this last Sunday prep. It's something that I think will really help you guys. That if you're really, really struggling, slow yourself down. Maybe try a couple swing trades. A lot of times you're wrong by a day or 2 days. You'll look at a daily chart. You'll say, man, off the 200-day quarterly pivot, look at all that support. You'll jump in. You'll get whipped around that day, because of the market conditions. The market's been really, really challenging. And then the next day, you'll see the stock do exactly what you thought it would do. Well, guess what? If you were in a swing trade and you size yourself accordingly and you gave yourself bigger range, you would have still been in that trade and you could have cashed in on it. So, swing tradings are sometimes really good for people, especially you guys that are struggling. So I just want to mention that today. So that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about, slowing things down a little bit, making sure you guys are switching to a longer term chart, especially when you put a position on. It'll probably help you from the whipping around on the 1 minute charts, and make sure you guys are maybe considering swing trading. I think it would help you out a lot, especially if you guys are struggling. It's a really good way to get your feet back on the ground. Regarding the markets, listen, I talked to you guys about the markets last week. I talked about this drop being a short-lived thing, and I have a feeling, I think we're going back towards highs. Let me just say that this is the SPY that I have up right now. You saw the drop, didn't quite make it to the 126 day, which is this yellow line. Kind of held it back over to 50 day. I think we're going to go back up to this level again and make new highs. I kind of talked about a short-lived, drop regarding the interest rates. Let it all kind of, come through. Everybody get, absorb the information, and then back to business as usual. We're coming into earnings. I think between earnings and the news already out there, I think the market's going to head back towards highs. It's just my opinion. Again, I talked last week about opinions. Everybody has them, so it is what it is. But I do like the market right now. I think we're going to be okay. Doesn't mean that we can't come back into this 460 level on the SPY, test it again, move another a little bit higher. But I always reference this back when it was doing this kind of action here, just 50 day, 50 day, 50 day. I want to get that action back, and you could kind of see it's slowly starting to form. We had this big move here, kind of 50 day, 50 day, 50 day. Are we coming back to that same type of pattern? So that's what my thoughts are regarding the market. Nothing different on the Qs. QQQ. It's nothing different. The Qs did test the 126 day. NASDAQ got beat up, as you saw, a couple times in a row, down 3% one day. So it definitely took a little bit of a beating, but it's bouncing back as well. I feel pretty good about the overall market. So, my thought is regarding the markets, I feel pretty good about them. I feel good about it starting to form a pattern again. And I think we're heading back towards highs. We'll see what happens, though. We'll let it play out, and next week see how crazy I am if we're sitting down here at the 200 day. but we'll see. But anyway, let's continue on. So I'm going to give you guys some symbols here. We're going to play the Goose Games. Listen, I do this Goose Games thing, and it's all about you guys. So you guys contributing, seeing where you guys' heads are at, giving you a quick description of why, I'm looking at it at a certain level and then moving on. So, participate, guys. Have fun with it. I mean, it's a good way to roll through, 8 to 10 symbols and see what I'm looking at, and maybe even catch a couple ideas off it, okay? So let's start off today, and the first one I want to talk about, it's a little bit lower volume name. I put up different names. We're going to look at ITCI together. That's Ida, Tom, Charlie, Ida, ITCI. I put it up here so you guys could read this. I know that there's a delay. But let's get going on the Goose Games, guys. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, thank you guys on the NUE. That was a really good one yesterday. I still have a little tiny piece in case we get a runner today or tomorrow. All right, so ITCI, I'm looking for a long off that one, guys. If you guys were going, what is he, long or short? I'm looking for a long off this one. So there's a level on this one I'm definitely looking at. ITCI. Jeff says it's going lower. Okay, I hope so, because there's a level that I like. Anybody on ITCI? Daniel, Javier, you guys actually, by the time I plug it in, let me show you guys. Anybody else? ITCI? You guys nailed it exactly where I'm talking about here. 38.20 is what I'm looking at. You got the 200 day right here, 126 day, and a prior monthly, okay? ITCI, 38. Good job, Jose. 38.20 Lehan, not too far off as well. But this is really nice right here. You guys can see this right off the 200 day. You got a prior monthly here, and you got the 126 day here. It does look like it might come down and test that area. We'll see what happens. But ITCI, I'm looking for a long off 38.20. A little bit lower volume name, guys. You obviously had volume up here during the drop. Just in case you guys are wondering, they announced a secondary offering. That's why the stock's coming in. But you could see how strong this name was before they announced this secondary. So I like this idea on this ITCI. I think this is getting overdone, and I think they'll price this thing at a fair level. You obviously see the 200 day and where the 50 day is. So I think it's going to be priced maybe in between there or up towards the 50 day. So we'll see what happens. Next one I'm looking at is Jeffries, JEF. Okay, I'm looking for a possible long on Jeffries, JEF. Juliet, Eddie, Frank. Good job, guys, on the ITCI. I always forget there's a little bit of a delay here, so this is my coffee time in between the delay. Anybody seeing anything on JEF for a possible long? Jeez. Professor, nice job. Good job, Curly. Yeah, old resistance equals what, Jeff? Right? So Jeffrey's just looking at it. Good job there. So what I'm looking at here on Jeffrey's is I'm looking for 35.90, okay? 35.90 is what I have written down. That's right at the 200-day. You got a support level here, and just below it, you got an annual and previous quarterly, okay? See this annual pivot right here, this blue dotted line? Quarterly, you can see it's coming into a support level that it held last time. Let's see if it gets a quick drop into this 200-day for a bounce. So Jeffrey's a long off 35.90 is what I'm looking at. Good job. You guys pretty much all nailed that one, or the level. Good job on that one. All right, next one's going to be a short on LI. Lima Ida. A short. Where might I short this? Symbol is LI. Benjamin Jeffries for the short down to the 30s. Cracks 200 million daily chart. I'll have to pull the chart back up on that, Benjamin. If you remind me, I'll take another look at it with you regarding the short play. $33.50 on LI. Jeff says 31.36. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of in between there. 32.30. There you go, Professor. 32.40s. There you go. Now you guys are in the right range there. Good job, Tyler. All right, so let me pull up LI for a second, guys. LI. So what I have right here, you can see my alert right off this monthly pivot. I have 32.30. I have the monthly pivot, prior resist, and the ATR written down on this as my notes. Okay, it's a $2 ATR right up into that monthly pivot here. Prior resistance, prior resistance. You can see it all the way up into there. That's what I'm looking for, monthly pivot and the ATR. So 32.30 is exactly what I have written down, okay? 32.30 for a short on LI. All right, next one is going to be ESTC. ESTC. Eddie, Sam, Tom, Charlie. Can you guys read the symbols on my thing, by the way, so I don't have to give them? Or does it help when I give it phonetically and whatever? ESTC, I'm looking for a long. What do you guys think on ESTC? Okay, thanks, Benjamin. Angela, you're still on LI. That's exactly where it is, 32.30, Angela. Thank you, Benjamin, regarding the question I had. 103.80. I'm being a little bit more conservative than that. That's pretty far down, Professor. No, that's too far for me. ESTC for a long. Anybody? Ooh, Jose. Reading my mind, right? Now you guys are in the ballpark. Javier, there you go. Okay, I'll give it to you phonetically, Katie. No problem at all. If you're on your cell. Yep. But again, this is one that I'm looking for a bounce on this, Benjamin, regarding the, downside and so forth. But look, this is what I'm looking for right here. Right off this 99.60 area. I wrote down ESTC 99.70. You got a monthly pivot here. I wrote down a century mark, and that they gave their financials. They actually didn't seem too bad. I actually looked at them a little bit. I think this is going to get a little bounce to it, okay? But watch the century mark. You guys, I'm telling you, $50, $100, $150, $200, $250. Those are big numbers. I'm telling you. I've seen it time and time and time again. You can just trade those century marks sometimes, and you get a bounce off it. So let's see if there's a nice little bounce off the century mark here, and you got a monthly pivot right there with it. So I wrote down 99.70 for a long. All right. Next one is QRVO. Caught a downgrade. It's coming in. What do you guys think about QRVO? Quebec, Romeo, Victor, Oscar. Thanks, Katie. Good job, guys. Good job. Yeah, absolutely, those psych levels. That's the wording I was looking for. The psych levels. QRVO, guys, what are your thoughts? Looking for a long. Quite a downgrade. I'll look to scoop some of this up. Javier, I feel like you're in my room today. Maybe that, or we've just done this so many times in the Goose room. You are sharp. Chris, great job. Nailed it. Nailed it. Daniel, nailed it. That was in a movie, I think. All right, so what I wrote down on QRVO is 144.40 for a long. You got a monthly pivot and a prior quarterly pivot. You can see also this support level that it's had here. Looks pretty good to me. 144.40. Good job, Curly. Good job, everybody. You all nailed it. So that's what I'm looking for. 144.40. This does have a decent ATR. Just watch the volume on this. Not sure it's going to have enough volume or not today. If it stays under 1 million shares, then probably is not a trade early on. But let's see if it comes into. This would be an all-day one for me if I see this slowly come into that 144.40 area. Looks good for a bounce off there. So let's see. All right, next one I have HDB for a short. Henry Dog Boy. HDB for a possible short. Good job, guys. You guys are nailing these, by the way. It's pretty awesome. I get a lot of satisfaction out of that. I just love the participation, by the way. Thank you guys for that. HDB for a short, guys. All right. So you guys, I went a little bit more aggressive than you guys because it's only it's got a really tight ATR, less than $2. HDB, I'm thinking off 72. All right, which is the 72 area. You got 126 day, a 200 day, and a monthly pivot. I gotta believe that's gonna put a wall up here, right? Which is right here. I know it's only $2 above, but that's the ATR on this thing. So watch this. HDB right off this 200 day area, the 126 day, got a monthly pivot and this prior resistance right here as well. I know you guys are looking at this. This is actually, this blue line, by the way, is a volume profile line, point of control, up at this old quarterly, but I think right here would be the level. I think it's going to have trouble right at 72. So that's what I'm looking at on this one. Good job, you guys. And you guys that are calling out that other quarterly, that would be another obvious level if it does push through the 72 area. But I think it's going to really hit its head up at that 72 area. So that's why I have this one written down. Next one, let's move on to KBH. I'm looking at a long in KBH. Possible long on KBH. Good job, though, guys. And I love the fact that with the levels, when the folks that are missing are seeing other levels exactly. So even though you're putting in the 73.70 area, I know exactly what you're looking at. So really good job there. KBH, what do you guys think? Ooh, Benito's doing the notes as I go. Okay, KBH, Benjamin looking for a short. I love that. I said this last week. I said there are trades on both sides of the stock, so don't get it twisted. I believe in that. I can't tell you how many times Ricky or myself or Adriano and myself have been on complete different sides of a trade, and we've both nailed it and made money. So don't assume that everything is that there's not opportunity there. So KBH, let me pull this up here for a sec. So what I wrote down on KBH, I'm going to talk about the short on this for a second, Benjamin, afterwards. I wrote down on KBH 43.50. That's a monthly pivot and a fib retrace if you draw it. It's actually a little bit more extended. When I drew the fib before, it was in the 45s. But it was a nice fib retrace right into this monthly pivot, okay? 43.5. And that's what from the pre-market move that's going on. If you guys draw a Fibonacci retrace, you'll kind of see where that falls into that 30% or 70% retrace. It's pretty strong retrace. Exactly, Benjamin. We both make money. So anyway, so on this one, I have 43.5 written down right off this monthly pivot. I think this could come in and test it, but we'll see what happens. So far, so strong. My problem with KBH in the short side, you got a lot of extensions up here. I just don't know where to call it. I mean, you could talk about this old level here in this previous quarterly with this resistance, Benjamin. I just don't know. When these stocks are breaking out like this, I look to join a trend, and right now the trend on it is, it looks like it's a long. So that's the only reason that I was only pulling up the long on KBH today. I mean, but if you look, I pull this chart back, you look a little bit further left on this thing, you can see this area, and you can see some of these prior quarterly pivots, probably in that 48.5, 49 area might be an area. You see that, Benjamin, what I'm looking at? I'm not sure where your short is, but that might be an area, that 48.5, 49 if you're looking for a short. But I'm going to play the long side on this. All right, right now it's trading above 46, just so you guys know. Let me drag this, make this a little bit bigger. KBH, okay, I got a couple more here, guys. Let's start with Match, MTCH, for all you single folks. Match.com, MTCH. I'm looking for a short on Match. What do you guys think about a short on Match? It's moving up on an upgrade by Piper this morning. Hang on. Yeah, there you guys go. You guys have money. Jeff, I'm looking for a short on it. I don't know what you thought that I'm looking for a long, but you guys are all in the ballpark. Good job, Curly. Let me pull up the chart on this thing. Match.com, I have 135.70 written down. 135.70. So far, Daniel has it. Ooh, Jose, there you go. You nailed it. Nailed it. 135.70, right below this 50-day and this resistance. You guys see that? 50-day prior resistance. It's only moving up on an upgrade. I know it's far away, guys, but this does have some pretty good range. $5.50 ATR on this thing. You never know, it could get up there. But look at that. Look at this resistance here. It couldn't bust through last time. Pushes right into the 50-day on an upgrade. Yes, I'll take that. Thank you very much. MTCH is short off 135.70 for me. All right. LEN is my next one. LEN, Lennar. I'm looking for a long off Lennar. I got two more, folks. Two more, and then we're done, and I'll answer any questions. LEN. What do you guys think about a long on LEN? Really good job, though, folks. Yep. You got it, Tej. LEN, Lima, Eddie, Nancy, November, whatever you want to call it. Curly, 109.20. Who? I honestly feel, Jose, you really nailed them this morning. I am proud of you, man. And that's not being funny about it. You really have been nailing them all morning, Jose. Good job, Professor. So I have 108 written down, guys. You guys are nailing it. Good job, Daniel. Let me pull up Lennar, LEN. And this is a simple previous close and quarterly pivot. This is one that they had raised their dividend on. I'm looking for a 108 prior close. Let's see if it pulls back into here. And this quarterly pivot right here as well. So you could see, I think it'll be a pretty good gap to close type play if it comes in early this morning. But there you go. Well, I have 108 as a long on Lennar. Previous close and quarterly pivot. Last one we're talking about today. The last one, and I think this might be too close, by the way. I'm actually very confident, but I have to look at this name just to see the action on it. All right, JKS for a short. I got to see where JKS is. It might be above my level. It was moving up when I put this list out. All right, I no matter what, I am still looking at this name at this level. I'm telling you right now, it is very close. But you guys will pull up a chart on JKS, and you'll see what I'm looking at for a possible short. Now, again, I'm going to talk about the next level. Yeah, there you go. Listen, I have to look at this name at this level, guys. You guys are nailing it. Look at this. I mean, you got an annual pivot, a quarterly pivot, 126-day and a 50-day, all right at 50.20, guys. I have to look at it, and this is already extended up. ATR is $3. It's gapping up over 3 right now. You know, I'd be nuts to not at least look at it. If it busts through that level, the next level is going to be up in this 55 area. Okay, if it just blasts through it, I don't think there's anything in between there to look at. But if it goes through there, This might be one that if I get an early shove in the morning, I'll start it at that level and maybe give room for an add, and then I'll trade it back as a short back down to VWAP. Does that make sense to you guys, what I just said there? So like I might start regardless with a, like a third size position, wait for it to, what I feel top out, make maybe a lower high, add to my position, and then trade it back down to VWAP would be my trade on that. But I think JKS will give some of this move back. I really do. So I have to put the short down there at that level. 50.30 was what I have written down. 50.20, sorry. I have 50.20 written down on that for a short. So good job on that. I know I gave you a pretty good hint saying how close it was. But there you go. There you got all my names for this morning. What do you guys think? Anybody have any questions about the ones that we covered? Anybody need me to go back and look at anything that I covered that you had a question on? We're getting towards the half-hour area, which I like to keep it to. Remember, guys, if you want, I'll take a couple names to look at if you guys have any questions. But please put down what your thoughts are. Don't just put down a symbol. I won't respond if it's just a symbol. I want you guys to say, looking at a long ABCD at 45.20 thoughts, something like that. So anybody have anything for me? Or are we good to go? There you go, Jose. AMAT. Let's take a look at AMAT off of G2C. That actually might be a nice trade, Jose. I like that. That's AMAT. What he's talking about at G2C is a gap to close. That means a quick drop at the morning, right down, back down to the previous close, which is also going to be what? Did you notice something else there, Jose? You notice there's the previous high is right there as well, right? And you got a prior annual pivot as well. So I do like this. I think this could be a good trade if it comes back into that previous close. That's a good eye on that one, Jose. Good work. Anything else, guys? Let me look at that, Daniel, 1 second. On KBH, 43.50. Would you add? I would probably just take this as a trade and not ride it down up to 42 and see if I'm right on that, Daniel. So the question is on KBH, if I took this trade at KBH, how would I play it? I would probably play it under 43 as a stop. You got 43.15. You also, I know you have a lot of stuff there, but I think if it's going to fail and really fail that hard, I would be a little bit worried that it's going to, come back and test, and I'm just early on the name. So I'm going to test it, probably use a 50, 60 cent stop, get an entry close to this monthly pivot, probably stop under 43 on that trade, and I would look for a bounce off, that's a pretty big move. It's coming down from 46 to 43, $3, so maybe hopefully get a buck out of it. Hopefully that answers that, Daniel. But I don't think I'd ride it down to the gap to close. I think I would stop it and revisit it. Guys, a big thing about what I'm talking about is I don't know what's in our mind. Like, every trade that you look at, you can manufacture a reason to add to another level. You'll be like, oh, there's a quarterly pivot, or there's another pivot here, or there's another something there. You guys got, if you put on a trade and you have a plan that says, I'm going to risk 50 cents to make $1 or whatever that number is, stick to your plan, because what happens is those are the ones that, how many of you guys have had the issue where you make $200, you make $200, and all of a sudden you have $1,000 loss, and you're like, what the hell happened? That's what happened. It's on these trades that you start off, you put a position on, you say, oh my God, the 200 day is only 70 cents below it. Let me add there. And then you add a little bit more. Now your size is way bigger than you normally are on. And then you realize, oh my God, there's an annual pivot even 40 cents below. I'll leave it, a little bit more room even. And maybe you add at the annual pivot because it looks like it's making a new low. Then all of a sudden it stops you out. And you have this big $1,000 loss when you're trying to make a couple $100 a day. That's what happens, guys, is you start manufacturing levels, okay? So just make sure you're real careful on that. But, this is an example right here on this KBH question. I add here and I go, man, there's a 50-day right here. Let me add it the 50-day. Let me give it a little bit more room. I'm not going to stop under 43. And then I got to test the G2C. Let me add some more at previous close. Now I'm 3 times the size as I wanted to be originally. Then all of a sudden it flushes through and it stops me out. And all of a sudden I take 3 times the loss is what I was expecting. But I justified it. Every one of those was an ad. It looks good. Those were good ad spots. No, what the ad spot is, what was your original trade plan? You stick with it. you could always revisit a name. If it holds a level, you stop out. You could always start a whole brand new trade with brand new risk, brand new reward. All right, guys? Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. I know we're coming to the end here. But sometimes I get going on topics. TSM, pull back into 136 and looking long. Benjamin, TSM. Tower semi. Let's see. TSM, pull back into 136 and looking for a long. 136. Yeah, that's way up there, isn't it? I don't know. I'd probably, again, I'm just going to make the comments how I see it is. I'd probably wait for this monthly pivot here up at this 134.40 area. That'd just be me. Or wait for a G2C on TSM. That's just how I would probably trade TSM, Benjamin. If you're just developing nodes for a session, yeah. Crocs off 131. Leha. I think this is going to be it. Crocs is pretty low volume, I think, right? Oh no, Crocs is good. Sorry. Why did I think it was lower volume? Off 131.50 at 20-day risk off previous low. I love how you put all the notes in there. Good job, Leha. Let's see what we're looking at here. 131.50. Right up to 20-day. You got the 200-day right in between. So this is an example. I think in my trade plan on this one, Leha, I would probably start at the 20-day if it was me. I would add off this 130 area, 130.10, so I'd size myself accordingly, and I would stop under 130. That'd be how I would trade this. That's just me. I think I would leave some room with the 200-day and the 130 number there. That's just my thoughts, and the previous low as well. How do I scan for these names, guys? There's a variety of ways. I use Market Smith as one of the ways. We have a screener at TrueTrader.net. We have a built-in scanner and stuff. It's pretty awesome. It's a proprietary scanner that we use. So I'll look at the pre-market gappers. I'll look at names that are, I have a huge alert list here. You can see I got 107 alerts set up right now. So I'll go through alerts that are also triggered, and these are all ways that I get my names. But on my scanner, there's a few different scans that I run as far as pulling up names off the 50-day. I look at a lot of relative strength that I have doing pullbacks. I'll look at 50-day, 20-day. Also look at some. There's I'm trying to think of the word for it. So I'm having a brain lapse here. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick and give you the exact wording of it. It's a composite rating. Sorry. And the composite rating is built up of both technical and fundamental reasons. So I'll look at higher composite ratings as well. So the question was, Jose, how do I find some of my names? So that's how I go through them. That's why you see some odd names in there. I just don't go throwing up Intel, AMD, and Tesla every day. Anybody else have any questions? It's actually it's past top of the hour, so I'm going to have to cut this off. I didn't realize how long it was. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys, for everything you coming and joining and your participation. Just do me a favor, make sure you guys liking what we're putting out here, hit the like button. Make sure you guys leave any comments if you have any comments. I will answer your questions if you have any there that I wasn't able to cover. And make sure you guys are setting your alerts, and make sure you guys are tuning in Sundays for Ricky's prep. And hopefully you guys like what's going on and like the Goose Games here, and I'll keep doing it. If you guys like it and participating, I'll keep going. So it's all about you guys. So thank you. Come check us out over at TrueTrader.net. I think you guys will be really impressed. I really do, guys. Give it a shot. So we'll talk to you guys next week, and have a great weekend. Thank you all.